Hello friends, welcome to Startup Telugu. Friends, today let us discuss about PAYTM case study. Friends, PAYTM case study ni 7 different stages ka divide చేసినాం. Stage number 1 is introduction, stage number 2 is PAYTM super app, stage number 3 is PAYTM collapse, stage number 4 is stock market shock, and stage number 5 is PAYTM savior model. Stage number 6 is trends favoring PAYTM. Stage number 7 is lesson learned from the case study. Friends, నాకు ఈ stage number 7 is most favorite and very interesting one. Please don't miss it. Friends, let's now start with the introduction. Friends, ఇతనే PAYTM founder and CEO. His name is VIJAY Sharma and he was born on 8 July 1978, Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh. He did this most of the schooling in Hindi medium schools and later on he completed his engineering in Delhi Institute of Technology, and later on he started many companies such as XS Corp, IndiaSite.net. ఈ కంపెనీస్ అన్ని ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ 1997 టు 1999లో స్టార్ట్ చేశాడు, అండ్ ఈ సోల్డ్ దిస్ కంపెనీస్ in between $1 to $2 million. Later on, he started 197 Communications in early 2000s. This 197 Communication is the parent company of the PAYTM. PAYTM as a company was launched in 2010. PAYTM's first e-wallet was launched in 2014, and rest is the history. By 2020, Vijay Sharma was India's second youngest billionaire with $2.35 billion of wealth. Now, PAYTM ఎట్లా ఎవాల్వ్ అయింది, వాట్ ఆర్ ద ప్రోడక్ట్స్ దట్ ఇట్ హెస్ లాంచ్, ఇవన్నీ మనము ఈ పీపీటీలో డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం. ఇన్ బిట్వీన్ 2009 and 2010, PAYTM was launched as a company. In 2012, it built its first payment gateway, and in 2014, as we discussed earlier, PAYTM wallet was started, and 2015, QR codes, movie ticketing and bill payments were started. In 2016, flight ticketing was started. In 2017, PAYTM payment banks, PAYTM Gold, FASTag and event ticketings were launched. In 2018, PAYTM First Games, Postpaid and PAYTM Money was launched. In 2019, Soundbox and Merchant Cash Advances were launched, and in 2020, POS systems were launched and insurance and credit cards were distributed, and in 2021, equity trading platform was enabled. By seeing all these products, we can fit these products into 3 different services, which is payment services, commerce and cloud services and financial services. This is very interesting data, guys. ఇక్కడ మనం గమనిస్తే in 2010, 50% of the smartphone growths were happened in 2010, and in fast forwarding to 2014, PAYTM wallet was launched, and fast forwarding to 2016, UPI was at first it was enabled, and at the same time demonetization took place. Fast forwarding to 2017 and the launch of Geo, which impacted many of our life. In the same year, QR code became super popular because readability became 10 times faster compared to the barcode, and this is the evolution of the other sides of the PAYTM's growth. Coming to our PAYTM super app, as we discussed earlier, PAYTM services, financial services, commerce and cloud services, ఇవన్నీ సర్వీసెస్ వచ్చి PAYTM ఆఫర్ చేస్తా ఉన్నాయి. PAYTM పేమెంట్ సర్వీసెస్ లో డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ సొల్యూషన్స్ సచ్ ఎస్ ఆన్లైన్, ఆఫ్లైన్ బిల్ పేమెంట్స్, మనీ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్స్ అండ్ PAYTM బ్యాంక్స్ ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి. అండ్ ఇన్ ఫైనాన్షియల్ సర్వీసెస్, లెండింగ్ సర్వీసెస్ అండ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అండ్ ఇన్సూరెన్స్ సెక్టర్ ఇవన్నీ ఇంక్లూడ్ అయ్యాయి. అండ్ కామర్స్ అండ్ క్లౌడ్ సర్వీసెస్ లో టికెటింగ్ సర్వీస్, ఆన్లైన్ ఈ కామర్స్ అండ్ మినీ యాప్ అనేవి ఇవన్నీ దీనికి ఇంటిగ్రేట్ అయ్యాయి. కమింగ్ టు ద కస్టమర్ బేస్, PAYTM has 337 million consumers and 22 million merchants. For consumers, PAYTM wallet, food wallet, bank accounts, wealth, this and all the services which are being provided for the PAYTM consumers. For merchants, PAYTM gateway, all-in-one QR, soundbox, POS and smart POS, this all services were being provided to the merchants. For those of you who don't know POS is a point of sale. To simply tell, POS terminal is a hardware system for processing card payments at the retail locations. For example, you can see the different products of PAYTM such as PAYTM Gold, where you can buy and sell the gold, and PAYTM First Games and PAYTM Mall. Friends, let us look into the new stage, PAYTM Collapse. ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఈ స్లైడ్ లో పేటిఎం డౌన్ఫాల్ ఎట్లయింది అండ్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద రీజన్స్ ఫర్ ఇట్స్ డౌన్ఫాల్, ఇవన్నీ మనం ఈ స్లైడ్ లో చూసుకుంటాం. ద ఫస్ట్ అండ్ ఫార్మోస్ట్ రీజన్ ఆఫ్ పేటిఎంస్ కొలాప్స్ ఇస్ పేటిఎం పేమెంట్స్. దిస్ ఈస్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ ద అరైవల్ ఆఫ్ యూపీఐ, which was developed by National Payment Corporation of India in 2016. By the end of 2019, UPI became most popular and both the consumers and merchants started using it. Now, UPI accounts for almost 65% of the PAYTM's GMV. GMV is nothing but gross merchandise value. To define it, it is the total value of merchandise sold over a given period of time through a customer to customer exchange site. It is also used to measure the growth of the business or use of a site to sell merchandise owned by others. To simply remember that, you can also think it as the number of transactions handled in a platform. So 65% of the Paytm's GMV is UPI. It is expected to grow to 85% by the financial year 2026. To simply put, long story short, UPI disrupted the Paytm payments. Now let's look into another disadvantage. Paytm is a cash burning machine. It almost spent $1 billion towards funding its losses. And another disadvantage of the Paytm is the over diversification of its business model. Since it is doing n number of businesses such as Paytm Gold, Paytm Games, and Paytm Mall, it lacks focus. And another disadvantage is it generates low revenue for every rupee spent towards marketing. In the recent data, it almost spent 350 rupees on acquiring each customer. Now let's look into the financials of Paytm. Mankanni telsinde, Paytm focuses on three different services, that is financial services, payment services, and commerce and cloud services. ఈ మూడు segment లో how much revenue, how much expenditure, and how much net loss it has occurred, let us look year by year. For those of you who don't know what is revenue, it is the total amount earned by the company from its operations. So to earn 573 crores, they spent 1763 crores. Hence, the net loss is 1190 crores. By looking into 2017, the revenue was almost 813 crores and expenditure was 2047 crores and its net loss was 1234 crores. In financial year 18, the revenue was almost 3234 crores and expenditure was 4718 crores and the net loss was 1484 crores. By looking into the recent financial year 2021, its revenue was almost 2800 crores and its expenditure was 4503 crores and its total loss was 1701 crore. By looking into this data, we can see that almost every time the revenue is growing, at the same time the expenditure is also growing up. Hence, it is making more and more losses. From the recent news, Paytm management has said that they will reduce the expenditure so that they can be profitable. Now let us look into the new stage, stock market shock. As we all know, Paytm went for an IPO on November 2021 with an aim of raising 18,300 crores, out of which fresh issues was 8,300 crores and OFS, it means offer for sale, is 10,000 crores. For those of you who don't know what is fresh issue, ఫ్రెష్ ఇష్యూ అంటే కంపెనీలో కొత్త షేర్స్ ని, కొత్త ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ ని ఇష్యూ చేస్తారు. అండ్ కొత్త ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ రిసీవ్ చేసిన కారణంగా 8,300 crores అనేది కొత్త ఈక్విటీ షేర్స్ రిసీవ్ చేసింటారు. సో 8,300 crores ని కంపెనీ ఆపరేషన్స్ మాత్రంతో యూజ్ చేసుకుంటారు. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద లాజిక్ బిహైండ్ ఫ్రెష్ ఇష్యూ. అండ్ ఫర్ దోస్ ఆఫ్ యూ హూ డోంట్ నో, ఆఫర్ ఫర్ సేల్ అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ సింప్లీ దట్ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ ఇన్వెస్టర్స్ వచ్చి కొంచెం అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ స్టేక్ ని రిలీజ్ చేస్తారు. ఫర్ రిలీజింగ్ దట్ స్టేక్ దే విల్ గెట్ ద ప్రాఫిట్. సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద అమౌంట్ దట్ ఈస్ బీన్ రైజ్డ్ ఇన్ OFS, it doesn't go to the company's operation. It goes into the individual investor of that particular company. And its offer price was 2080 to 2150 per share. So if anyone wants to apply for the Paytm IPO at those times, so each and every individual needs to pay at least 2080 to 2150 per share. But unfortunately, Paytm failed to impress the investors as Paytm shares listed at 9% discount and closed at an price of 1560, that is 27% below the offer price in its first day. Now you can look at this chart. This is Paytm chart. మీరు ఇక్కడ చూసుకుంటే it was nearly 2000 to 2150. It was an offer price. So it listed at 1956. In its first day, it fell almost 27% to 1561 rupees. Now right now it is trading at in the range of 500 to 600. Friends, let's look into a new model called Paytm Standout model. Friends, మనం చూసుకుంటే Paytm is a loss making company. Since వీళ్ళ కస్టమర్ బేస్ ఉంటేనూ they have their own competitors. Like in payment services లో they have competitors like Google Pay, Phone Pay, వీళ్ళందరూ ఉంటే cloud and commerce services లో they have competitors like Razorpay, Instamojo, etc. So మన అందరికీ వచ్చే డౌట్, how can Paytm be successful? How can Paytm come into profitability? And which model can save Paytm? Which model can bring Paytm into profitability? Any guesses, friends? If you have guessed, then that is Paytm Payment Bank. Before discussing what is Paytm Payment Bank, you should know some general information about banks in India. So let us look into the types of banks in India. We have central bank, cooperative banks, commercial banks, regional rural banks, local area banks, specialized banks, small finance banks, and payment banks. This is what we are looking for. So in payment banks, we have 7 different types of banks in India. That is Airtel Payment Bank, Indian Post Payment Bank, Fino Payment Bank, Jio Payment Bank, ATM Payment Bank, and NSDL payment banks. So what is a payment bank? So payment banks is like any other bank but operating on a smaller scale without involving any credit risk. It can carry out most of the banking operation but cannot advance loans. It can accept demand deposit up to 1 lakh rupees, offer remittances, mobile payments, and other banking services like ATM cards, debit cards, net banking, and third party fund transfers. For those of you who don't know what is remittances, it is funds transferred for another account from the overseas. Now let's look into another new interesting data. As per the current guidelines governing payment banks in India, ATM Payment Bank would be eligible to apply for a small finance bank license post completion of 5 years after the launch of PAYTM Payment Bank. So friends, as we know that PAYTM Payment Banks was launched in 2017. So after 5 years, this payment bank can apply for the small finance bank. So approval to become a small finance bank would allow PAYTM Payment Bank to offer small ticket loans and have no upper limit on bank account balance and offer all deposit products such as non-resident Indian accounts and fixed deposit directly. So the catch here is payment bank can have an upper limit of 1 lakh, but in the small finance bank it has no upper limit. In small finance bank they can offer different types of services such as fixed deposits, etc. This is where from payment banks it needs to shift to small finance bank. This is where the goldmine of PAYTM lies in. As of now, it has 65 million accounts in its PAYTM payment bank. When this payment bank shifts into small finance bank, when it can offer loans, fixed deposits, and has no upper limit, this can generate into profitability. Now let's look into another new segment. It is one of the most important segment. ఈ segment లో జాస్తి key data ఉంటాయి. ఈ data అనేది జాస్తి important for any type of business. ఎవరైనా కొత్తగా ఒక business స్టార్ట్ చేయాలంటే they should definitely know these data so that they can understand the total addressable market. So the first thing is favorable demographics. As of 2020, India has 745 million people in the working age group, and India is one of the youngest nations in the world with a median age of 28. Coming to the second factor, it is urbanization. At now, Indian urbanization stands at in between 450 to 500 million people. So, it is expected to grow further to 550 million by financial year 2026. And the third factor is rising middle class population. Here, Indian middle class is almost about 55 to 57%. It is likely to be 65% plus by 2030. ఈ డేటా అంతా చూసుకుంటే what we are looking is consumer spending, rapid upward mobility of lower income classes, and growth in income through urbanizations and increasing employment opportunities will drive consumer spending. For any business, consumer is very necessary. So they should have money to spend on your products. And this is also very important data where it shows how many of them are using internet right now. So this data says India will have approximately 1 billion internet users by financial year 2026. By looking into this data from financial year 2021 to 2026, total population with the access to internet is 650 million. It is expected to grow 8% from 650 million to 950 million in financial year 26. Right now, smartphone users are at 500 million. It is expected to grow at 10%. And overall, at the point of 2026, there will be 800 million smartphone users. At present, the users who has internet connection but they doesn't transact online, they stand at 400 million and it is expected to grow 16%. And at the point of 2026, the number of people who can transact online becomes 900 million people. So this is the growth that PAYTM is trying to capture. Guys, this is the favorite and last stage, that is lessons learned from the PAYTM case study. So we have learned that what is the importance of demographic changes. Like we have learned the data about urbanization, demographic changes, and the rise in middle class population. And also we have learned about payment banks. So in India, any payment bank should wait up to 5 years to upgrade itself into small finance bank. And we have learned about OFS, that is offer for sale. And also we have learned about fresh issues. And also we have gone through gross merchandise value. If you remember, UPI will have 85% of PAYTM's GMV by 2026. And also we have learned about point of sale. And last but not the least, the hard struggles and inspiring journey of Vijay Shekhar Sharma. At one point of time, Vijay Shekhar Sharma has been losing 88 crores a day. Right now, Vijay Shekhar Sharma wealth stands at 999 million. From oligarch to entrepreneurship, from earning 10,000 to earning $2.35 billion, from $2.35 billion to $999 million. Vijay Shekhar Sharma's journey is very interesting and inspiring as well. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked this video.